Hi everyone and happy Monday. We have the Johanna Basford weekly planner page here to do today, or to make a start on. It is a page from Enchanted Forest, so I grabbed my previous copies just to show you what I did. So here's my first effort. Green leaves, purple regal looking buildings with yellow roofs. Probably wanted to do gold really, but did yellow. Probably didn't know how to do gold back in the day. And this is my second attempt, more bold, but with green leaves again and some sort of brick coloured buildings. I don't want to do one exactly like that, but I thought I'd just give you, just pop those back on my shelf. I thought I would just give you a look at what I've done while I have a little think about what I'm doing. I've also got another version in here. That's really different. Look at that, very autumnal. I don't want to do an autumnal version, seeing as it's summer. I'm not in an autumnal mood. I'd love it to be autumn. It's going to be really hot today, but let's get in a little closer and have a look. Now, where to start? Polychromos pencils. Thought I would use something that I could sharpen to a fine tip, because we've got a lot of little details. Do we start with the leaves? Do we start with the tree? Now, what I did in the one I showed you last was in these bits here, in the gaps, I put some darker green to what I did for the leaves, and I think that worked quite well. So I'm thinking I'm going to do that. So that's helping me think about what colours to use. I think I'm going to grab my permanent green olive and do some of the gaps. Now, I'll come in a little closer, but so we've got little bits drawn like here and here. I'm going to have to sharpen this. I was going to use my Staedtlers because they're even pointier, for want of a better word, and you know, a little bit easier to get into these small spaces. I'm just blocking this in, by the way. If you can't really see what I'm doing, I apologise. It's so small. Maybe I should come in closer and just try and remember to move the book. I think I'll do that. Or actually, not going to be able to see what I'm doing. There we go. We'll just do this section here to start with. Yeah, I was going to use Staedtler, but I used them last week's planner page. I could have used my Ergos, but it's going to get really hot today. My hands are already a bit sweaty, and Ergosoft don't like sweaty hands. They, for me at least, the paint comes off the barrels if my hand's hot. So I've decided I probably am not going to use my Ergos for a little while we're having this hot weather, although it's not going to last, fortunately, too long. It's going to get up to 31 today. Ugh. But it's okay at the minute. It's still early. And then tomorrow 28, but then the day after it's going to rain. I'm not sure. I think that's probably there. So that's good. Well, I think so. The plants will be pleased as well. They're going to be glad of some rain, and it's going to go right down to 19 degrees. I think this is why we feel it in the UK. The weather, the temperatures fluctuate so massively. And if it stayed at the same temperature for a prolonged period, we would get used to it. I remember a couple of summers ago I almost did, when we had a prolonged hot period. But normally we don't get that. And it goes up and down, up and down. But I've discovered that where I sit in the sitting room, I'm right in between the two French doors, and I tend to get a lovely breeze coming through when it's windy. It's been quite breezy, which has been quite a relief. And I went for a lovely walk this morning, thought I'd go out before it gets too hot, before the tennis starts. It starts in about an hour, very excited. Go out for a walk. So I sort of went for a lovely walk along the canal. Didn't go towards town. I went the other direction because I haven't been in the other direction for quite a while, and that was really pleasant. Didn't see too many people. There were no dog walkers, which was unusual, but maybe they gone out even earlier, or maybe I was a bit early, I don't know which. And I saw there were a few runners and cyclists, and but it was lovely. What did I see? I didn't see anything too exciting. I saw a group of ducklings. They were very cute. I saw an enormous beetle on the path. I was taking some pictures from my son because he didn't want to come. He wasn't ready in time, but he wanted some pictures. Some lovely flowers and things. And the bird song was lovely, really nice. I did this sort of thing in my head. I was like, and it's something I got from a book by Dr. Chatterjee. And he says, you know, imagine you're on holiday, even if you're at home. And I was thinking, you know, if I was on holiday now, I would be walking, I would just be taking everything in, enjoying it as if it's the first time I've seen it, because obviously if I was on holiday it would be the first time I'd seen it. I'm going to have a look in here and see what we've got going on here. So that's what I was trying to do. It's not easy, but it helps you to really appreciate your surroundings. And I was walking quite fast because it was partly a fitness walk as well as a nature and, you know, enjoyment type activity, but I was still able to stop, take photos, observe things. My photos were rubbish. I would have shared them with you if I had anything nice, but my phone camera is not good. Anyway, I just making sure you can see what I'm doing, but I was walking quite fast, but the people cycling and running, like I was looking at some ducklings and watching them. I stopped to just have a little look, and you know, there were people cycling past. I would not have even seen them, you know, because they were going so fast. And my neighbour often says to me, why don't you get a bike and cycle? You get places quicker. It's like, you do, but you don't see, you know, you don't see what's going on because you're so fast. So anyway, it was lovely. But yeah, I found a few ways to keep the house a little bit cooler last night, which was nice. So when I get up in the morning, I try and open up everything so that it gets a chance to cool down before, you know, it warms up again, if you know what I mean. And I opened a few doors downstairs. We have an understairs cupboard and a cloakroom down there, and those rooms are always cooler than the rest, so I opened those doors to let some of that cool air out into the hallway. And I also in the kitchen, I'm going to sharpen up my pencil again. I opened up some of the cupboards, the cupboard that has our washing machine in, and the one that has a broom cupboard. I don't usually leave them open because it looks really messy, but you know, it was overnight, no one was in there, and they're always cooler. I think the cupboard doors provide insulation, and in the winter I'm always telling people to shut the doors because you're letting the cold in. They're like, mother, you're mad. So everything was open and it was a bit cooler down there this morning, so that's good. So I shall do that again on the hot nights. And because we can't leave the windows open on the ground floor, we've been told, you know, you have to be really careful in case anyone tries to get in. And our back is very secluded, so if you knew the area you could know, and you can get in to our garden over there's a really low fence. I've had to climb over it myself before when I locked myself out of the front of the house, and luckily the back door was open. Oh yes, what happened, I was outside the front of the house talking to the neighbour who lives next door, directly next door on the side of the low fence, and I had the front door and the back door open, and the front door had at the time what's called a Yale lock on it, and when it shuts it just locks automatically, so it's so easy to lock yourself out. So I hadn't put it on the latch, I just left it. Had a big gust of wind, front door blew shut, and I was stuck out the front of the house without a key because I was just out there nattering. But one of the neighbours did have a spare key, but I just said to the neighbour I was talking to, can I come through and hop over the fence, which I did. The fence is a little bit higher than my height, my legs, a little bit higher than my legs. I had to stand on tiptoe, and yeah, it was a little bit awkward, but I got there and got in. So that was good. So I kept that low fence because I thought it was a good backup plan, but I've changed the door now, so if the door bangs it doesn't lock. We've got a different type of lock on it, just because it came with a different type of lock, so that's better. Don't have to worry about that happening. But yeah, it's quite funny. But yeah, so a lovely walk. Was breezy. I took my hat, I didn't need to put it on because it was shady along the path. I'd forgotten how shady it was along that side, but also the sun wasn't out for ages. It was still burning off the early cloud. I hadn't expected it to be cloudy for when I looked at the weather forecast, so I was quite pleased to get a little bit of respite first thing so we can get the house cool before the sun starts blazing through, you know. It's always a bit of a toss-up, isn't it? Do I close the house all up and stop the sun getting in, or do I let the breeze through? You have to judge it based on... Sometimes, even if it's warm, it's better to have a breeze and still air inside, I think, but I shall let others judge. It's quite cool in this room at the moment, and the window doesn't open easily. I'm going to sharpen up again. I'm going out of the lines. I just realised I did a bit that wasn't in shot, didn't I, down there? Sorry. I'm just looking through. It's always a tricky this to... I'm bound to miss a few bits. But anyway. Yeah, so I'm just hoping that we can keep the house cool enough for when it gets really hot later. We will manage. It tends to be husband that suffers the most. I think it's because he works in an air-conditioned office. So he finds it. Also, where he sits in the sitting room, he can't open the door next to where he sits because he's got a table in front of it. And so he's sort of stuck behind a closed door, which means he doesn't get any breeze because it's almost sheltering him from the breeze. So I might suggest to him, I don't think he can move his stuff. So I did suggest he sat somewhere else, but that wasn't practical. He's going to be... I don't think any of this here. I've asked him to copy some CDs for me today. I'm reading his mindfulness book, and it's an 8-week mindfulness meditation course. It actually looks fantastic. And one of the authors, you might, as you would like to know, some of you will say, what is it? What's the book? It's just called Mindfulness. And one of the authors is called Williams. So I can't remember the other. There's two. And there's a CD with it where you can do the meditations. So it's an 8-week course. So each week you get different meditations to try. There was the chocolate meditation first, and the raisin meditation. Now, I don't know if you may have tried these. I'm just going to check and see if I've missed any bits. I think I'm okay, but obviously I can come back and do them after. Now, what we're going to do with all these leaves? Well, I'm thinking I could keep it quite simple and just use my earth green yellowish and go around them all with this. I'm going to start down here at the bottom again, I think. So here is the earth green yellowish, and I'm just going to go with every leaf and just fade to the tip. And I'm going to try that and see how it looks, because I can always add a second colour after on some of these sort of solid areas and things like that. So I will see. I might think this is enough, or I might want to do this sort of background in a May green or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, the chocolate meditation was, I couldn't do it because I haven't got any chocolate in a minute, but you just put one piece on your tongue and you don't chew it or bite it or anything, you just let it melt. And you just sort of, I mean, it's obviously written in really good detail in the book. I'm just giving you a brief recap. And you just observe the flavour and the texture and that sort of thing. And then there's a longer one which you do with a raisin, where you sort of look at it, smell it. You do that with the chocolate too, you smell it first. Then you put it on your tongue, you feel it, you manipulate it in your mouth, you take a tiny bite, you see what flavours come out of it. I've done this before with a raisin, well, a sultana. I prefer sultanas. It's quite an interesting one to do because, and I did it this morning with a grape because I don't eat sultanas. And it was really interesting because I put grapes mix them into my breakfast so I don't taste them individually. And it was really sour and refreshing. I was really surprised. So that was interesting. But yeah, it was fun. And then there's another one you do, the 8-minute one for the first day of the course, is taking notice of your breathing. Now, I've said before that I find it difficult to concentrate on my breathing because I sometimes struggle with it. But I decided that I would just give it a go because it sort of said it isn't necessarily about relaxation. It's more about concentrating your thoughts. So I tried it and actually it was okay. I tried it last night. I didn't do the full 8 minutes, I don't think, because my clock was wrong and I thought I'd started in time. I have an alarm that goes off at 9 o'clock on a Sunday night to remind me to change my HRT pouch. And so I thought I had 8 minutes, and so I thought I'd have a go. And the clock was slightly fast, so I didn't quite do the full 8 minutes. But there's a CD which guides you, which I thought might be better as a learner. I mean, I can do meditation without guidance. I don't always enjoy guided meditation. I often prefer to just do it on my own. But I thought I ought to, because this is a course and it's a bit different to the sort of meditation I've done before, I ought to. So my husband's going to copy the CDs for me and put them onto my device so I can, like my tablet, so I can listen to it with my headphones on. And it's only 8 minutes, the first one, but apparently it gets longer, so it's supposed to be doing like half an hour a day. But it says that because of the way the course is, although you might feel you don't have time to spend that much, this one I should be doing in the permanent green olive, I think. I'm going to switch. Because of the way that you might change the way you live your life slightly and get on with things. You're less distracted. That even if you're meditating more, you may find that you have more time on your hands. Sorry, I just got to stop and wipe my nose. Ugh. Right, back to our earth green yellowish. Let's pop up here a bit. There we go. So that was so it's interesting. I've used meditation before. I used to use it a lot, and then I just sort of got out of the habit, you know. But there are also habits you're trying to change as part of the course as well. So the first week, you are supposed to do a couple of different things. Firstly, when you're brushing your teeth, really be observant of what's going on. Feel the toothbrush in your mouth, smell the toothpaste, feel all that sort of thing. Rather than just doing things on automatic pilot. So that's interesting. So I did that. And now when I brush my teeth, I stand on one leg. It's a late Michael Mosley thing from his Just a Minute podcast. Well, it's still available on BBC Sounds, actually. And he suggests various different lifestyle changes you can make, and one of them is that, you know, if you can balance better, then it helps you as you get older to protect against falls. Now, I'm not that old, but I'm thinking if I could get into that habit young, then it will keep going, you know. So I stand on one leg when I brush my teeth, and what I found was absolutely fascinating was I was concentrating hard on how it felt in my mouth, the toothbrush and all that sort of thing. I didn't wobble at all. It was almost like because I wasn't thinking about balancing on one leg, I didn't wobble. I thought the opposite might happen, which I was quite intrigued by that effect, unexpected sort of outcome. So that was interesting. But I tried that. The other thing is you're supposed to do something differently. So it's like, you know, when you eat your meal, sit on a different chair, or have your chair sit in a different place, or just do something, walk a different way, just do something a little bit differently. I haven't done that yet, but what I thought I might do was raise the height of my stool in the kitchen or something like that, and just sit a bit higher. But it'll be a bit awkward because, you know, I won't be as close to the breakfast bar. But I thought, yeah, let's try that. But I forgot to do it this morning, so when I go down in a minute and make a coffee after I finished this, making a couple of videos, I'll do that. Now this is really simple at the moment. I hope it's okay. Because it's so detailed, it can be nice to just keep it simple, I think. And I'm always a little bit unsure as to what to do with this page. I mean, excuse me, you could do all the leaves different colours and it would make it much more bright and cheery. But I don't know, I always think of it as quite a... It's got this skull, candle, mystical cat and stars down here. Sorry, you can't really see. It always makes me feel there's some sort of slightly dark black magic-y thing going on with this picture. Not in a spooky, scary, anti-religious type way, just in a bit of a fun way. You know, I'm just going to do the leaves under this building here. So I always feel that doing it bright isn't always the right thing to do, but I don't know. I just ending up using my favourite colours because I didn't know what else to do. Okay, let's go across now. Now this roof, I think I will continue with this colour actually. I will do all the leaves the same. Let's sharpen up again. Yeah. But it's been quite an interesting book so far, and I think my husband and my son would really, really benefit from it, but I can't imagine either of them doing it, so it's a shame. But I feel that if I can do it and then I can show them the benefits, then maybe they'll be more, they'll want to do it more. I don't know, but as I haven't done it completely yet, you know, sort of 8 weeks, it's quite a long time, isn't it? But I figure I can definitely find time for meditation in the evening when I go to bed. When I normally read, I could do it then, but it's doing it in the morning that's a bit tricky, finding time for that, because you know, you get up and you've got to organise everybody out the door, potentially. That's sort of 3 days a week at the moment. But that sometimes a lot more days a week, actually, and on a Saturday. That's 4 days a week. And potentially, yes, as I say, could be more. So, and I don't think you can listen to it and do it while you're doing other things. You know, potentially I could stick my phone in my pocket, put my headphones on and do it while I'm cleaning the kitchen or making the lunch boxes or whatever, but I don't think that's... I think you're supposed to do it when you're sitting still, you know. So I did used to have a really good meditation technique where you could do it anywhere, standing, sitting, in a queue at the supermarket, and it was just a momentary thing just to calm you, which is nice. I can still do it, I don't usually need to do it when I'm in a queue in a supermarket. I don't need to meditate normally. I'm normally yapping to someone. Just annoy the person behind you by talking to them. I'm going to do this teeny plant here. Yeah, luckily the supermarket I shop in... Oh, you can't see. I'm sorry. I'm going to go up the top actually for a bit. The supermarket that I shop in, people don't tend to mind you talking to them very much. So that's good. Oh, I haven't done the outside of that. There we go. I can hear someone listening to a video or something. It'd be my husband. He doesn't put headphones on much. Oh, I've got a sort of swirly bit here. I'm going to do that in the permanent green olive. But I won't have the I won't have headphones on when I'm watching the tennis. I'll have the sound on. It limits my movements too much if I wear headphones. It's okay, but temporarily. I've got to sharpen up for these bits. But if I'm, you know, if I'm listening to something all day, I want to be able to move. And I can take it with me if I'm going to make a drink or whatever, depending on how exciting it is, you know, and meals and things like that. Because I always put it on my tablet. And I also have a phone, so I can watch 2 matches at once if I need to. They play 18 matches, 19 matches at once. So, yeah, it's quite a lot to pick from. But we'll see. It's exciting. I'm so excited. But I'm probably colouring mega fast because I'm excited. Not that I don't, ever. I don't know the meaning of the word slow. Got my parents coming on, and my sister. They're coming on Wednesday. My sister's like, I don't mind if you put the tennis on while we're there. I'm like, well, it'd be hard because I wouldn't know which one to match to watch. But I feel it's a bit rude. Oh, hang on. Put a bit here. There we go. So I don't really want to do that. I asked my dad who he thought would win. My dad always used to watch the tennis. He got me into it. And he didn't recognise any of the names that I said, I don't think. I think he knows Djokovic. But I don't think he even knows like Alcaraz, who was won the last 2 years. And he didn't know any of the women's names at all. So he'll watch it a bit, I expect, but he's busy with his bridge and his band, his saxophone playing, everything else. There's a few bits here that I've missed with my permanent green olive, isn't there? So, yeah, I don't know if he'll get time to watch much. I don't think he's as enthused as he used to be about it all. He likes to watch the Brits, I think. But I don't know how well they'll do, to be honest. Got one that's pretty good, but... Oh, I can hear a car alarm. But you never know. It's also hard to tell, isn't it? Depends who they go against, how they're feeling on the day, all that sort of thing. Our top Brit was doing quite well in Queens, I think, but he lost and he had tonsillitis. Whether he's better or not, I don't know. Or was that Eastbourne? I can't remember. I think it was Eastbourne. It doesn't matter. But yeah, he had tonsillitis. Got a little cat to colour. Oh, there's another teensy bit there, look. I think Johanna must have had great fun drawing all these leaves in different shapes and sizes. It makes it really hard to know whether to colour, how to colour them. But I think keeping them all the same is so much easier than trying to do like each shape a different colour or whatever. Now, there we go. Got a little bit more to do, but I am going to do the ones that are on the trunk of the tree as well. Yeah, I just sharpen up again. That and this one. Now those leaves that aren't part of the tree, or we'll just do this, the ones that are at the bottom I'll leave for now. I might do those in a few different colours, but I just want to do everything that's sort of associated with the tree in the same colour, just so it all ties together and it makes more sense. Got a little fox there. No, we don't want that one. Okay, now I am going to come out and show you what we've done so far. I think this is a really good place to end this video actually, because we've done a fair bit and it's 31 minutes. It just feels like a good time to stop for today. And yeah, we've done quite a lot. It doesn't look bad. Anyway. Thank you for watching. I hope that you have a really lovely Monday or Friday if you're a member. Of course, members get the video on a Friday, get them early. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope that you have a really super day and happy colouring.